Alright. Alright. Ungi la lele nami. Wosa giasi. Yeah. Kian siasi bani. Skale na guen. Papa, my child father, can you feel it? Come on, can you feel it? Right. Select Agantani. Joseph Gosham. When the phone got junior, my peaking, tell us I not do mama, we let see the phone got junior, my peaking. Oh, junior. Junior was. But tell me the pin code first. I want to know the pin code. And now my inbox, I2. Tell my inbox, I2, the pin code. Sanana Mabawipu, yeah. Selector, he pump. Come on. I say, can you feel it? Vaal, are you ready? Are you ready for opportunities? Are you ready for opportunities? Are you ready? Okay. Let's pray together. Come on, let's pray. Everybody pray now. Kiasi. Whoa, yeah. Skalena go away, yeah. Okay. Na be. Bana baba we. You boy. Skalena go so much. Come on. I go so much. Yeah. As I sing on the road. What's up? Oh no! This one. Anyway, nah. Salele, you're sleeping, little bit. Boss. Oh no! Anyway, nah. You put the energy. Extending energy. Yo, welcome to Empower Youth Vaal 2026. Yes, I wanted to teach you something. When I say hashtag, you say inspired. When I say hashtag, you say connected. When I say hashtag, you say transformed. Okay? Hashtag. You can do better than that. Hashtag. Hashtag transform. Give yourself a round of applause, young people. I want you to tell your neighbor which you did well. When's a grand ngokubala? You could have been sleeping, doing nothing. Tell your neighbor that you're the next. Tell them that you are the next millionaire. Askwazi ukuphila ngemali yegrant, I'm the next millionaire. You need to declare, you need to speak to yourself, say, I'm the next big thing. Tell your other neighbor, watch me. Watch the space. I'm the next big thing, baby. I'm gonna make it, baby. I'm gonna fly like an eagle. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. All right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad you guys are here in the morning. Ikamalenko simalibangwe. Malibangwe. Malibangwe. Everybody. Oh, we come alenko simalibangwe. Malibongwe, Malibongwe. Everybody, also, get it, come along, Malibongwe, Malibongwe, Malibongwe. Bet you chase me. Oh, lo, lo. Da, 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 da. Everybody say, who chase me? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, my oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, Malibongwe. I'm Malibongwe. Everybody, if you need it, hey, Malibongwe. Malibongwe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ikamalenkosi. Hallelujah. We are in the church and we are praying for our things to open. We are praying for our things to what? We are telling God, God, please, we ask you, open my things. I need a financial breakthrough. Also, financial breakthrough. Don't be apologetic. Financial breakthrough. Ngicela imali. Ngicela ukuphumelela. Lord, I'm tired of being poor. I'm the only hope in my family. Ashayeli izandla ke siyabonga. Selector, give me some music. I need young people. This is day 2. We need fire. We need energy. Who is ready to dance and to receive opportunities? Wave your hands if you are ready to receive opportunities. Hey! Vaal, can you scream? You can do better than that. Come on, come on. Let's. Asiko. Was. Okay, can I have 2 people on stage? A girl and a boy. I want to jive now. I want to dance. I want two people. Rosan. This is a youth. Lalela. Kibatla bacha. Do we have the youth in this house? Do we have grandma? Do we have the granddaddy? Do we have grandmas in the building? All the grandmas, please wave. All the grandmas. Do we have Mama Gogo in the house? Do we have the grandpas? Because seemingly, oh, someone, Grandpa Gujan, let me pray for you, my brother. All right, you think energy? Can we do that? Energy, energy, let's scream! Hello, Vaal! Somebody make some noise! Papa my child, hey! Papa my child, I'm messing like a puppy. Where the child? Pumelela, Pumelela. I said, can you feel it? That's what I'm talking about. Energy, energy, energy. I need that energy, young people. Pumelela, Pumelela, Are you ready? Are you ready? Young people, are you ready? Young people, are you ready? Are you ready? Oh no, no! Ah, no, no! Yeah, Are you ready? Are you ready, young people? Vaal, is that them already? What? Is that them already? Vaal, you're right to this side. Are you okay? This side. Tell your neighbor, fuga, fuga, man, fuga, man. You know, with Empower Youth, it depends how hungry you are for opportunities. If you are not hungry, you are in the wrong place. If you are not ready for opportunities to be successful, you are afraid. There are people who are scared to be rich. Hey, abantu bazothini if I'm driving a Lamborghini? Can you imagine how stupid? How dare you? Abantu bazothini if I'm driving a Maserati? How dare you? How dare you? All right, hashtag. 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 One more time. Hashtag. 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 Are you ready to be connected, inspired, and transformed? Put your hands together for today. Selector, I need more music. Before Bang Susa, before they remove me. Because they will remove me, Pela. All right, let's try for the last time before we welcome our MC on stage to do his thing. Tell your neighbor it's gonna be great. Tell your other neighbor kuzoba sharp la. I don't think so. Kuzoba sharp, ku sharp la.
Good morning, Vaal. Good morning, Vaal. Do you remember the hashtags? Do you remember the hashtags? Hashtag. 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 Absolutely. Ay, que sahana, man. Que sahana. Hashtag. 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 That's why we are here. We are here to be inspired. We are here to be connected. And we are here to be transformed. Come on, now I'd like to affirm. Sometimes if you can't affirm yourself, somebody has to affirm you next to you. Please look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah. Mtshela ukuthi don't look down on yourself ngoba umuntu omusha. Because you are here to get your things back. I'm saying a high five, Lapo. High five! We are here to get our things. We are here for the opportunities. We are here to get connected, to be inspired, and to be transformed. You can take up your seats. You can take up your seats. I want to check. I think Batuba Vaal Batlan 2 Sakir. Yeah. Sharpville, I think. Sharpville? Do we have Sharpville? What's the next one? 18 Moyeng. Oh, what's 18 Moyeng thing? Deflate is 18 the guy. What's the next one? Vernacheng? Yeah, it's a place. Is Orange Farm part of the Vaal? It is? Okay, no. But nonetheless, young people of the Vaal, I want to welcome you to one more day of our experience. I don't know if the video is ready at the back. I would like to flight that video to show you how yesterday was. Some of you are going to see yourself on the video. Did you enjoy first day? Did you enjoy your first day? Were you plugged on your first day? Shapa flaty da, shapa flaty, shapa flaty, shapa flaty, shapa flaty, shapa flaty, Vaal. So if the video is well, we just to flight the video for yesterday, and then I can move on to our next item on the itinerary.
Welcome to the Vaal. Welcome to Sebokeng.
Welcome to Vaal Empower Youth 2026.
Welcome to the Vaal Empower Youth Week Day 1.
Can we give a round of applause for Empower Youth for coming to the Vaal?
Today is not just an event, it is a divine appointment on these blessed and holy grounds. Have you perfected your time? Have you understood that time can make you rich, time can make you poor?
And I want to tell you today that you are going to be a generation that's going to be standing at the age of possibility.
I believe today that exposure is not your enemy. It is actually your introduction. Follow me. Before you grow, you must first be revealed.
Anyone that is going to be successful is a person that should be always willing to learn.
This week, there are more opportunities that Coca-Cola Beverages South Africa will be sharing with you.
I'm impressed with Vaal. Unbelievable.
It was so epic. The youth was engaging. The youth they were hungry for opportunities. It was a festival of opportunities.
I am so excited to be here, and I really can't wait to see what the next few days are going to have in store for us. It is very helpful. It is very opportunity opening. You should come for the whole week.
Thank you, Empower Youth, for empowering our minds.
You can do much better than that.
Welcome to the Vaal. Welcome to Sebokeng.
Abantu bagcwele Indian churches kanti bamosha isikhathi. Usele 3 minutes ukuthi azolanda abantu. Usele 3 minutes ukuthi azolanda abantu.
Weipone mo video. Weipone. One more time, Empower Youth Valley, Chapele Matsoho, for the amazing day you had yesterday. I want to also remind you, how many of you have got your phones? You've got your phones with you. Guys, take out your phones, follow us on all our social media platforms. Make sure that you are tagging yourself on these videos, making sure also that you are commenting, because we are running a competition. Kashifa will be coming later to expand on that. Without a further ado, can I introduce you to our CEO, Mr. Simpiwe Masiza, in the house, Mshapeling Matsoho.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause. I think you can do better than that. We have to introduce our Honorable Minister to give us a keynote address. Unkide nako to come and join us. He has to fly. We are going to Cape Town. Obana wale rata. Uitse no elerekete le kitlo bua le batho ba batjha ba ko Vaal. It's such a privilege to have our Honorable Minister Sori Malatsi, Kiana Otswering, Communications, and digital technologies more South Africa. Minister, thank you for taking time. And I know that immediately, Minister, because he has to rush to, to Cape Town. Young people, empower youth, young people, let's give our honorable minister a round of applause. I think we can do much better than that. I think we can do much better than that.
Thank you very much. What an honor to be here. And I've always wanted to do this, so I hope it gets a rousing welcome, because I'm told when you are in the Vaal, you must say 18 emoyeni. Thank you very much. It's truly an honor for me to join these proceedings here today, because it's quite important for government to support these initiatives, primarily because the work that is happening in the technological space can only be led by a generation of young innovators who are grappling with finding solutions to not only make life better for all of us, but to make sure that we contribute towards making our communities and our country a better country for all of us. I was speaking to Pastor there on the floor, and I hope I don't expose him. And he was just sharing that as a generation that was born prior to technology, he's not used to even making notes on a digital device, because he still prefers to write things down naturally. But it just shows that, with the proper digital skills that we need to compete in this economy, it doesn't exclude any generation. And that's the power of what technology can do in this day and age that we live in. And to be able to have platforms like this that shares opportunities that exist in this place, which put young people at the forefront of the change that we need to be seeing in South Africa, is a major source of encouragement, particularly when it is done by people who are invested in these very same communities that many of you live in and come from. I always tell a lot of audiences where they are primarily young people that we are all dreamers. The difference between the dreamers who succeed and often those who don't is because they have believers. So every dreamer needs a believer in order to realize their full potential and ultimately to succeed in the fields that they are exploring. I was asked today to come and speak about how the evolution that is happening in AI can be a game changer for all of our lives. And I think it's such an important thing that in as much as we are adapting to the disruptive technology that AI is, we need to fully equip this generation of young people to be at the forefront of spearheading the revolution that is happening in society in using AI. And a lot of the time, particularly in these times that we live in, we can often embrace the power of these new technologies and their evolution on a sectoral level because of, the impact that they can have, for instance, in the creative industry. Because everyone is worried about, what the negative impact of AI would be, rather than the focus being on the unleashing power of new industries that is going to open up, new careers that is going to unleash. And that is why these investments in this cohort of young people and the exposure to opportunities that exist in the digital economy becomes so important, because the future of work and even the future of life as we know it has completely changed because of how technology has become so embedded in our life. And it's very important that we embrace this and create these opportunities to show the direct relation between the use of technology in our everyday life and how it can contribute to a growing economy that can support all the innovators that are coming here. I'm sure in the room we've got people who are already thinking about new innovations to solve local problems. And for those to happen, obviously, several things need to happen. You need to be backed up by the institutions that exist in your immediate communities, the successful pioneers in the communities to provide a guidance and a guiding light into that. But there are things that as government we are also doing to make sure that South Africa remains competitive in the digital economy. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is ensuring that we get to a time where smart devices become affordable to low-income households, because we know that the majority of households in South Africa grapple with making a very basic choice on a daily basis, which is putting bread on the table and doing any other thing that can advance their lives. Almost everyone in this room has a device, right? And it's most likely, I can bet, that it's a smart device. In South Africa, smart devices, the price of smart devices is inflated by what is called the ad valorem tax. So for those of you who might not be too knowledgeable about our tax processes, is that, when they were making tax policy back in the day, they considered these things to be luxury devices. But the truth of the matter is, they've become basic instruments of communication, because whether it's for preparing for a sermon, pastor, for pastors much younger than you, or whether it's for the learners in the room preparing for, their academic work, we rely mostly on these smart devices to use the work. But we all know that their price is excessive. So one of the things we are advocating for is to constantly look at a change to how we look at the classification of smart devices as luxury goods, so that we remove that luxury tax so that they've become much more affordable. The second thing, which I know a lot of young people and even my peers in the room can relate to, is that the cost of data is very unaffordable. In this day and age that we're living in, being able to connect online is the oxygen of our generation, because we need that not only to keep up with current affairs, but to also just keep up with opportunities that may exist for bursaries, for employment, and even funding opportunities for our businesses. So as a start, one of the things that we'll be introducing and starting early next year is that the struggles that you currently have, wherein your data expires before the setup time that you have bought for, that thing will be a thing of the past, because we recognize that you must get full value for the money that you have done. And that is just by one of the many steps, that we are helping to contribute towards making sure that we remain active in the digital economy. But you can only remain that active if you are connected. And we have to constantly be aggressive about making sure that that connectivity becomes meaningful, whether you are here, Kokasi, or you go into town. The differential factor is going to be, if we've got the same level of connectivity, we are able to connect to opportunities beyond the boundaries of the Vaal, beyond the boundaries of South Africa. And that's what will give us a very strong chance of succeeding. The last element that I wanted to share with you, and I'm glad my colleague Craig is here, is that we run a series of programs about supporting SMMEs with connecting them to opportunities and bigger markets. I hope there will be an opportunity for Craig later during this week to be able to share that package of opportunities that exist, so that if there are entrepreneurs in the room that are grappling with thinking about how to grow your markets, to grow your clientele, we can look at how we can provide you with access to those opportunities and make sure that you take advantage of all of these opportunities that are in here. And lastly, I just want to wish you well. I think the journey towards change starts when an army of social change advocates in society come together. And this platform is one of those meaningful ways in which we can help change the fate and the future of young people, not only in this community, because I'm told, it goes into different areas, so that we can truly change the future of these communities that we come from, so that the tech innovators of this generation can be people who come from these communities. Because what then that does is it shows a determination to come up with local-based solutions that adequately address the issues that affect us on a day-to-day basis. And a shout out to the organizers for a magnificent expo for the week, and also the determination that you are doing. And the determination that you are doing in making sure that we see the change in our communities and we invest in our young people. Will change the future of South Africa if we empower young people with opportunities. I had a speech which my speechwriter will be very upset because I didn't use it, but every time I get to the pulpit, the spirit seems to take over. So, so I really hope that you take full advantage of this platform that is being created. I think it's a magnificent initiative that just shows that there are people who believe in your dreams. There are people who believe in changing the course and the trajectory of your future. And the best response we can do to that is to take up all of these opportunities and make sure that we impact another life, so that in future, the tech leaders can come from this same community, because it is actually possible to do that. And we are the generation that must lead that change. Thank you very much. Danko.
I think you can do much better that for Minister Malati. Come on, Vaal! I will kindly ask all our photographers to come to the front as we capture this amazing moment as we start our AI, Digital Tech and Deep Tech Day. It's a beautiful day. Clap hands for our lead, our EmpowaYouth lead. This is a great moment for the Vaal as we start things afresh. Once again, a round of applause for Minister Malati. As we move ahead, I want to call Mpopo once more on stage.
We're releasing the minister. Mpopo, Ogopi. Let's give Pastor Mpopo a round of applause. Pastor Mpopo, come man. Where's Mpopo? Where's Mpopo? Mpopo, where are you? Where to say toilet? Where's Mpopo? Huh? Now Mpopo. Mpopo! 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 Ah, Mpopo, someone so faggy. Olo Kenya week, the specs it's a high. Prof, thank you so much. We're gonna call you now, but before we call you, let's just get Mpopo for 2 minutes. Lincoln Marley, my friend, my brother, thank you for taking time. Yeah, this man runs a listed company, and he's here. Mpopo!
Hey! Hey! Can you feel it? Come on, Vaal, scream! That's what I'm talking about. Hashtag! 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 Somebody scream! Oh, yeah! Well, it's like the man of the young people. Put your hands in the air like this. Yes. What? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, and yes, it's still my need. Try for it. I'm gonna make 2. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, no! Papa, my champion. Once. Skyline. Papa, EP youth. Where is the youth? EP youth. Are you here? Selector, are you here? All right. 153 la. Ukona ona 60 la. Wozo chaiba na. Ukona na arthritis. Hello. And chaiba bab. Selector woza 2, 3. Woza sa kivela la. Nanga simshapelan matoko. Mshapelan matoko. I want a lady as well, Rosa. Whoa! What's Okay, ladies first. What's when am I showed? How much is the paper? How much is it one? How much is it one? Ay. What's She's representing all the girls. All right. I'll represent the machine. I'm jumping in my dog. What's up, Mama? Who represent the machine? That wasn't good. Hey. Oh, no! Ah, no! Hey, I said, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Vaal, scream! I said, can you feel it? I said, can you feel it? No. Yo, yebo, yebo, yo, 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 oh, 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 oh. I told you, you're getting it to my nandila. Can you feel it? I say, can you feel it? Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no. Give yourself a round of applause this morning. I love the energy. The energy.
And I think I'm going to need some assistance from the team just to unlock my little phone that I'm using today. Do I have Banele? Banele? All right, can we just quickly unlock that over there? Because the program is updated, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize for the inconvenience, just to make sure that everything goes well. As mentioned, I am in the creative arts. We're talking all things AI. And it's a topic that most of us are afraid of, right? Automation. We're thinking that it's going to take our jobs. I'm in the radio industry. We don't use newsreaders anymore. We have AI doing the news for us, which is a very tricky one. But if we do not learn and keep up, you know, we won't be able to participate in the workforce. So let's learn as much as we can. My industry, it's basically adapt or die. If you don't adapt, you're out of the game. So that's the name of the game, adapt or die. So coming up next, we have Deputy Vice Chancellor who will be giving a professor speech. Can we please put our hands together? Vaal University of Technology, we have the Deputy Vice Chancellor. Let's give him a round of applause. Right, thank you so much for joining us. All the best.
Molweni. Dumelang. Mr. Khatebe said I must say 18 moyen. Yes. I would like to thank the organizers, EmpowaWorks, for inviting VUT, Vaal University of Technology. We're proud that of all the partners, the only partner that carries the name Vaal is Vaal University of Technology. So can we say Vaal EmpowaYouth 2026 is equal to Vaal University of Technology? Can we say that? I think I need to, before I start my speech, I would like to thank the Minister for gracing the occasion, for being here, and also like to thank as I said, the organizers and the team from VUT. Also, my reverend, I noticed that you said you're from the Everton. My wife is from Everton, so Gusbaluam. Yes. Also, I would like to thank colleagues, stakeholders, and friends, and most importantly, the young people of the Vaal. I'm here to, as part of my speech, to present opportunities that we have at Vaal University of Technology for the young people. Because the university is your university. You need, as much as you go to study, but you must also get more services from the university. So as I'm speaking today, I'll be referring to some of the existing services within VUT that you, as the young people, you can tap into. So listen carefully. And on top of that, the VUT is also represented here. There are many stalls that are talking to VUT. So as I'm speaking to you, you are welcome to come afterwards to speak to the colleagues. So as I start my speech, today is not just another gathering. It's a strategic platform to reimagine the role of higher education in shaping the future of young people in a digital and AI-driven economy. We are gathered under the powerful theme, Youth Through AI, Automation, Digital Transformation, and the Technology Economy. I want to say, this is not a future conversation. This is a present responsibility. And at the center of this responsibility stands the Vaal University of Technology. Distinguished guests, one of the most important questions posed to us in this gathering is how must higher education evolve for the digital economy? How do we change universities to change the way they do things? I just want to mention that currently at VUT, we are having graduations. On the first day, we had about 200 IT graduates. But the question is, how many of those are likely to get employment? Are they supposed to look for employment? Those are the questions. Or should they start opening their own businesses? I also want to say, as I answer this question, higher education can no longer operate as a system that only transfers knowledge. It must become the system that builds capability. It must enable adaptability. It must drive innovation. It must also create economic pathways. As you leave the university, you must know where you are going. That must be the new future that we want to go into. So, what are we doing at VUT? We are transitioning from a traditional university to a model that is digitally enabled. We are also innovation-driven university. Our innovation precinct is here in Sebokeng. We've got a science park here. I'm not sure how many of you know about that. And we've also been sponsored by the Ministry of Small Business Development to the tune of 5 million to have an innovation and entrepreneurship hub at Sebokeng in our campus here. And the second question that I want to address today is, how do we align education with industry? The gap between education and employment is one of the biggest structural changes we face. Again, what are we doing as VUT and as a sector? We are embedding industry-relevant skills in our curriculum. We're also strengthening our work in accredited learning. We're also building direct partnerships with industry, government, and innovation agencies. I want to repeat this part, the part about partnership. We are building direct partnerships with industry, government, and innovation agencies. We have partnership with Technology Innovation Agency. Most of the activities that are happening in our science park here at Sebokeng are sponsored by tier called Technology Innovation Agency. We're also working closely with NIPMO, National Intellectual Property Management Office. You must know these agencies. You must know these agencies. They are for you. They are government agencies. We're also working with National Electronic Media Institute of South Africa. That one is sponsored by the Department of the Minister who just left. But more importantly, government is sponsoring what is called Vaal Special Economic Zone. That is a big opportunity for us. What is important about these partnerships? They are going to provide, or they are providing, skills that are market relevant. They are funding innovation, and they are also protecting innovation, because you need to protect what you have so that someone doesn't steal it. Also, with our campus or science park, we are also connecting our youth to real economic opportunities. The term opportunity has been used a lot over the last 2 days. The third question that I want to address is, how do research, innovation, and technology drive economic growth? The answer is simple. Innovation must reach the market. Technology must solve real problems. That's why at VUT we are building a research and innovation ecosystem that directly supports youth and SMMEs. The campus that we have has got capacity for that to happen. Our 3D printing precinct allows students to have access to 3D printing. So, what do we have to add as VUT? We have, through eSkills department, working in collaboration with NEMISA that I mentioned earlier, we are driving digital literacy in communities. We're training youth in AI, coding, and digital platforms. And we're also enabling digital entrepreneurship through NEMISA. This ensures that young people are not excluded from the digital and AI economy. We also have a French-South African Snyder Education Center. This center was established as a training center that prepares underprivileged youth to become artisans and electricians who are employable. Also, FSASEC creates an effective link between universities and TVET colleges. The program addresses the shortage of skilled workers in South Africa. So you need to also go outside, they are here, to ask more about what they offer. Working with Innovation Hub, in our campus, Science Park campus, here in Sebokeng, we have got a Castle Lab, where innovation that matters most is located. What opportunities exist for you as young people in Castle Lab in our campus? We are taking innovation into communities by supporting township-based startups. If you've got a small company, we can support you through our Castle Lab. We're also providing access to tools and mentorship. We can mentor you. On top of that, we are enabling grassroots entrepreneurship. So please visit these entities that are located at VUT. Another entity that is very important, because the Gauteng Gauteng government is focusing now on clothing and textile industry. Within VUT, we've got Center for Footwear Manufacturing. We are reviving local manufacturing. We're supporting youth-owned businesses. We're creating employment through production. All these are important entities that exist within reach. They are here. But the flagship program, the biggest program that we have at VUT is additive manufacturing. We have got a facility there that is called idea to product facility. You come with an idea, we can convert that into a product. What do? Through 3D printing, youth can develop products rapidly. SMEs can enter manufacturing affordably. We also make innovation accessible. The last question that I want to address, it might not be the last, but it possibly be the last, maybe to answer the questions that I was asked to address today. What skills are critical for future graduates? I repeat, as we're sitting here, what skills are critical for us as future graduates or future workers or employees or future business owners? We must focus on digital and AI literacy. We can never leave out critical thinking. We can never leave out problem solving. But we must have an entrepreneurship mind. We must be able to communicate. We must be able to adapt. I want to repeat, digital and AI literacy, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, and adaptability. So as I close, to the young people of the Vaal, you are not defined by unemployment statistics. You are defined by your response to opportunity. The platform that has been created here by Mr. Masiza and his team allows you to build skills, to access networks. Please access networks that are here. I'm your network. Talk to me. Do not wait for perfect conditions. The future will not wait. In line with the purpose of this session, let me conclude with a clear call to action. To us as universities, we must redesign education. We must partner with industry at scale, not just small, at a high scale. But more importantly, we must prioritize innovation and entrepreneurship. What do we say to the industry? I want to make sure that if there's industry here, they must invest in youth development. They must support innovation ecosystems like the one that exists at our universities, like VUT. But they must be able to support emerging talent. Government is already doing something, Mr. Craig. The funding that is there, I think, need to be increased. We need to have more funding for these opportunities. We also need to strengthen collaboration platforms. Now, to you, the young people, the youth, take responsibility for your development. Take responsibility for your development. Another one, learn continuously. Don't stop learning. Read. Lastly, create. Do not wait. Talk about waiting. I want to, because people think that someone is going to come and help them. I think I need to conclude, to focus that you need not wait. The future will not be defined by those who wait. It will be defined by those who act. who innovate, and who lead. I want to make this commitment from the side of VUT on behalf of management. That's why we're here. That's why when Mr. Masiza approached us to partner, we said we want to be part of this. Why we wanted to be part of this? We are committed to empowering youth. We are committed to driving entrepreneurship. We are committed to driving an inclusive economy, because the future belongs to those who step forward and take responsibility for it. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Speech. And please, can we also give another round of applause for Mr. Simpiwe, who will be joining us on stage just to share a few words.
Thank you so much. Let's give Prof a round of applause. I think we can do better than that. I am just here to say thank you, Prof. Prof, thank you so much. I'm here to extend our gratitude and appreciation on behalf of these young people, for partnering with EmpowaYouth. And I know that we're planning to come back next year. We have a multi-year engagement. And next year we want to scale this. Are we all together with Babacha? Next year, we want to put a dome, the same thing that we did to Go Orange Farm. And I think, do you have the video here, dome, that side B? Just locate it. That's how we want to do it next year. Can you just locate that video? It's a minute. If you do have, so that you see the scale. We want to do what we have done, but we just want to say thank you, Prof, for believing in us. And Joseph, wherever you are, thank you for the support. But to all our partners, NYDA, they're bringing their bus so that you guys can have an access to grants, funding, and mentor. Who's a business person here? Come on, what's a Chelete? Chelete business, sorry. I know we all want money, sorry. Yeah. I know, sorry. I know we all want money. Ke mo batla tšhelete nke ka kgona ho patala back. Ke mang o batla grant? Okay. Ke mo batla funding this side. NYDA ne ke bua le the CEO ya NYDA last night. Our brother from the Vaal, they're bringing the truck and all their services. We just want to say thank you to NYDA. Let's give them a round of applause. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming for you, young man and young lady. They're coming. They're coming in numbers. We also want to say thank you to WNR SETA, Wholesale and Retail SETA. It was represented yesterday by Tom Mukwanas. Let's give them a round of applause. They've made it possible. Coca-Cola Beverages, it was represented yesterday by Aus Pinky. I don't know whether she's here. Aus Akona, Aus Tulu, Aus Mutsidi. So we just want to say thank you to Coca-Cola Beverages. We want to say thank you to Unilever. The Omodi thing that side, products at that side, little winner next Wasani, you must come in numbers. There's a lot of opportunities that will be provided by Unilever. Let's give our sister, Yase. If Yase is here, let's recognize him. We just want to say thank you. Also, we want to say thank you to Facet, CEO, Facet aus Ayanda. Is Vusi here, Matla? Is Vusi here at the comms? If Vusi is here, on behalf of Facet, if he's not here, we recognize, Facet. Proudly SA and Brand SA and APSIP. We just want to say thank you. Next year, we're coming again. Put it in your diary, young person. We're coming again. But bize bonke, obachelo gotilana ziyakhipha, okay? Next year we're coming. Tomorrow, come in numbers. Tomorrow we're focusing on creative industry. The actors, we're producers. We're dealing with content economy tomorrow. top people in that value chain or ecosystem. Tomorrow they are coming. Make sure that we are here in numbers. Thursday, it's green economy. Friday, it's a festival of funding. Rakwada, get Friday. Friday. Friday, make sure that any young person who's a business person or who has an idea to be in business or in business or saving how to navigate the funding ecosystem space. Friday, they must be here by 8 Rakala. Are we all together? Okay. Thank you once again. I wanted to extend our gratitude to Prof and also to the Department of Communication and Digital Technologies. Craig, let's scale this. I've spoken to the minister. He's saying next year, now we have a year, to discuss this. Let's give you our ambitious target, which I've shared. We have launched it yesterday, is to create 1 million jobs by 2030. Empower. We have 4 years to deliver that, and we want a partner like you, like VUT. Next year, this is what we have. Next year, when we have this day, the digital economy, AI, and tech, we want to have every company in this country, up to 200 of them. That's why we want to put a dome. So these young people, they are able to go. I know today we have Google, Lisaka is here, the CEO is here, Lincoln Mali, and a lot of them. We want these young people, they have 200, they must be spoiled for choice. They must go to robotics, they must go to app, they must go to content, they must go to AI, they must go to 3D. So that they are spoiled for choice. So that we don't, we're sitting with other areas here, they're sitting at 90% of unemployment. And some of them, they are 40, they still don't have a tax number. And that cannot happen while we are here. And people like yourself, Craig, and myself, VUT, Lincoln Mall, and all our partners, we need to make it happen. Next year, we need to scale this, with your support. MC, we give it back to you. Thank you. Here, this is it. Watch this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hashtag. Hashtag. Hashtag.
$241,000 to a staggering 4.9 million people out of work.
EmpowaYouth, that is already sounding like such a positive thing. The orange from EmpowaYouth, a transformation program.
It's a youth movement by the name of EmpowaYouth.
Before the end of this year, 2023, we will have visited the Eastern Cape, the Northern Cape, the Free State, and we will be left with one province to visit, being the Western Cape.
The aim of the EmpowaYouth Week, which is such a progressive initiative that is aimed at advancing the interests of young people.
We need to create, we need to support these platforms everywhere where there are young.
You need you to dream. You need you to get employed. You need you to start a business.
Absolutely love it. We love the work that EmpowaYouth is doing. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Lovely, lovely. So, it gets very serious. As mentioned, day 2 is all about AI, automation, and the digital tech economy. I have a panel discussion that will be taking place. And of course, I need the right speakers, people who know more about this, I beg your pardon, people who share some tips and some advice as well. Joining me on stage is our first speaker. Can we please give a round of applause for Mr. Lincoln Mali? All right, he's the Southern African Chief Executive Officer, Lesaka Technologies, FinTech and Digital Financial Services. And also joining him on stage will be Nkosinathi Mahlangu. That's our second speaker. He's the Youth Employment Portfolio Head on Momentum Metropolitan. And I also do need our third speaker, Mvelo Hlophe. Is Mvelo Hlophe joining us? Yes, he's here. Come through, sir. Right, that makes it a total of 3 speakers joining me on stage. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Are we all good? Are we ready to get into it? All right, so let me just sit with you right here. Also get a bit comfortable. Let's make sure your mics are on. I'm sure you can test it. Mic check. Right, so this session is all about demystifying the digital tech economy for young people and show how you can participate in it. So we'll kick it off with Mr. Mali. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, man. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us in day 2 of the Empower Youth Week. So in simple terms, I beg your pardon, how is FinTech changing everyday life in South Africa and Africa?
I'd like to use an example that's here, maybe in the Vaal. A few years ago, if you had to go, for her to get a grant, she had to go somewhere in an open field and queue, and people pay her money cash. And also they are waiting for her. They know she's going to get her money that way. Through technology, you are moving money the same way you send a WhatsApp. Because money is moving data. So now, on grant day, Gogo's money is in her account. She doesn't have to fetch it somewhere. That is FinTech. It's enabling money to move easier. A couple of years ago, if Gogo wanted to borrow money, or a young person who's a child grant beneficiary, they have to go to Mashonisha or Lakash. Today, sitting on their phone, through USSD, they can apply for a loan and get a loan in their account in 5 minutes. That's technology. Or another example, if somebody wanted to open an account, they have to go to town. Today, in Lesaka, or we have EasyPay everywhere that maybe most people know, they will go to a township or a village and open an account using a tablet, and somebody gets an account with a card, with biometrics in 5 minutes. That's how technology enables things to move. Better and different from what we had before. So those are the things that make changes in people's lives.
Absolutely love it, which leads me to my second question. I think one of the most important topics for me is financial inclusion. Can you kindly break down what financial inclusion is and why is it important for young people?
Financial inclusion is about enabling all of us to partake in the financial economy and not to be sitting on the outside and watching others participate in the financial economy. So if I can give you an example, if you own a garage or a service station, I think that's what people call it. If you wanted to borrow money in the old way, you have to go to a bank and give them 6 years financial statements. But today, all the transactions that are happening in that POS device that is in your garage is data that can be assessed to see how much money gets in every day. And you can apply on an app and get up to 5 million rands within 24 hours because you're using the data that's there. Or the vault that's got the money. When you go to the garage and you're buying something, that money moves from the lady in the till to a vault. We see all of the transactions that are taking place. When you make an application, that's what you get. That is what is financial inclusion, where you have more people being part of the financial economy by using technology to close the gap.
And then let's talk about the opportunities that exist within fintech for young people. Can you kindly take us those opportunities and also beyond being software developers?
Oh yeah, so at Lisaka, we've grown from a business that was close to about 1,000 people. We now have 4,000 employees. Right here in the Vaal, we have 6 branches of what people would see as easy pay everywhere. So we employ salespeople, so those people who can go out and bring business. We employ people that go to taverns. We bank taverns. We bank sponsor shops. So we bank all of those. So people who want to be involved in sales, we've got that. People who want to be involved in data, we employ data analysts. We also employ people who are good at risk management, who use technology to detect about to make sure they don't steal imali yabanye abantu. So all of those are available to us. And I think the best way to describe something that I think the professor said earlier about opportunity, and that people can sit here and think these things that this man is talking about are too far from us. Let me maybe give you my personal story. At 18 years old, I'd been expelled from school. I was in and out of jail. I was running away from the police. I was trying to leave the country. Today,
You basically gave your parents a tough time.
I'm a CEO of a Nasdaq listed company. I come from the same community. I grew up in a township like everybody else. The question is not where you come from. The question is, what's the fire in your belly? Because the challenges are there. You can list all of them. The question is, what is going to make you different from the person next to you? There can be so many things displayed here. Who's going to be the one who's going to pursue those things and make sure that I'm going after those things? There are so many people who are unemployed. How many of them are employable? Employable is not just a qualification. It's that thing that says, I will not take no for an answer. I'm going to go and get that job. That's the issue.
What sets you apart?
Yeah, so Mr. Masiza can create many opportunities, and somebody can say, yeah, the opportunities are there, but they're not for me. The question is, what's in your heart and what's the fire in your belly? And that's the thing I'm looking for. Even in employees, I have many employees that I know are going to succeed, but I've got other employees that I know everything is a problem, everything is a challenge. But I've got employees who like, I want your job. That's the employee I want to hire. The one who believes they can conquer the challenges that they face.
Thank you so much for that one. I think let's give him a round of applause one more time, ladies and gents. Which leads me to my final question before we move over to Mr. Nkosinati. What is one practical way that young people, especially the ones joining us in the room, can start engaging in the digital financial economy?
My biggest plea, I cannot stop people from being on social media. All I can ask is, how much time are you spending on the digital world to build yourself versus what you can see on social media? You can develop a product, you can develop a business, you can develop your own CV and everything on AI today versus watching other people's success on social media. If you're a young person and you're spending all of your time liking other people's lives rather than using technology to build your life so that other people can like you, that for me is the biggest thing. There are free courses on everything technological you can find. Sitting in your room or your house, using your data to empower yourself through technology. That's the beauty of technology. Some of the things that are being done, you can access them just on your own. So for me, I'd rather to say to young people, use the accessibility that comes with technology and don't spend the majority of your time on social media watching other people's success story. Be the success story.
Spending the whole day on TikTok.
I'm not mentioning names.
Yeah, we won't mention names. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Mr. Lincoln. I think what I'm getting from you is that the opportunities are there, and it's all about who goes to those opportunities. We thank you for that. And then we cross over to you, Mr. Nkosinati. So from a youth employment perspective, how is AI and automation changing job opportunities today?
Thank you very much, Comfort, and greetings to the future of the Vaal and the future of South Africa. I think the first step towards fetching your future, as you have made it by just being here, and thanks to EmpowaYouth for this initiative. I think we're looking at how AI and automation are changing the world of work. It's not only about taking jobs, but we're looking at creating opportunities and shifting how we look at jobs today. And I know when AI and tech came into play, we were all threatened and intimidated to say, what's going to happen to my job? Are robots going to replace human beings? But it's all about moving from a routine way of doing things to a tech-enabled way of doing work and a skills-based way of approaching the world of work, because it's all about using the skills and the tools in the right way to create opportunities, to solve problems, but to also work smart than working hard, so to speak. And I think as young people of South Africa today, AI has come at a point whereby tech is on our fingertips. We speak tech, we walk tech, we use tech every day. Some might not be aware that they're already on the journey, to engaging with tech, automation, and AI. And it also comes with new opportunities in as far as career advancement. I mean, my colleague here did mention about fintech opportunities. We're talking data analytics. We're talking agri-tech. I mean, food security is big in South Africa. We're talking agri-tech. We have a lot of young people who regard themselves as content creators. Guess what? That's a role that is enabled by AI. We're talking about, marketing opportunities within the tech space. And the list is endless. It's a matter of taking those opportunities and also, making them accessible to young people so that our youth can also, not be only a statistic when it comes to unemployment, but a statistic that shapes the country and the statistic that owns the direction of tech and AI in the land. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that one. I also want to talk about the misconceptions that young people might have about working in the digital economy. What do you think are the misconceptions that young people might have when it comes to working in the digital economy?
Quite an interesting question there, Comfort. I mean, we all experienced COVID-19. And I mean, the way of work changed to remote work. We all went digital, the hybrid way of work. And some of the misconceptions is that, digital economy is easy, quick fix. I do a short course, the next day I'm rich. It doesn't work like that. It requires a whole lot of hard work, adaptability, commitment, because now the global space has become more competitive and so compact in such a way that you're not only competing with your peers here in the Vaal, but you're also competing with your peers globally, because now you're also using technology to access opportunities abroad. So it's all about now having to be self-managed and not saying remote work is easy work, but it also requires you to be committed to be self-managed. And a lot of young people still struggle if there isn't structure. So it takes self, to be able to meet these opportunities halfway. So there are a lot of misconceptions, but if you are on the right pathway and surround yourself with the right people, mentors are very much helpful on this journey. You know your passions. Go to platforms like LinkedIn. Follow people that are also, doing the work that you'd like to do, or in the spaces that you'd like to operate in, so that it takes away the misconceptions, and you also have the right mind frame of mind in terms of how to tackle tech innovation and also be part of the change makers in the world.
Absolutely love it. And there's also I thought the young people were going to go clock it when you're talking about surrounding yourself with the people who really just inspire you. Do you guys know clock it? Why didn't I see any clock it over there? All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Nkosidati. So there's also qualifications versus skills as well. What qualifications do you think are becoming, skills, I beg your pardon, are becoming more important rather than skills in the world, in the workforce, I'd like to say?
Yeah, well, qualifications very important. We cannot do away with that. However, not only qualifications will open the doors for you. Skills are very important. And by skills, I mean, we're talking about problem-solving skills. I remember even the minister earlier on, he did mention something about problem-solving. The prof did talk about adaptability. You know, it's a very fast-changing environment that we find ourselves in, but our advantage is that we are young people. You know, human skills, how to interact with other human beings, you know, how to communicate, even though you are very good in working, you know, alone in your corner, whether you're coding, but you also need to have those interpersonal skills, how to communicate with people, how to also, you know, explore opportunities, but most importantly as well, moreover, apart from adaptability, self-management and discipline. Because again, it is a competitive environment. It will also require a whole lot of sacrifice from you. So over and above the qualifications, let us make sure that we are adaptable and we are also learning how to learn, because continuous upskilling is the new currency.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gents. Just to wrap it up, and before we move over to Mr. Mvelo, I've got a question. I think one of the lessons that I'm learning in my industry, in the creative arts, is the importance of being able to pivot as well, because, you know, there's always the new kid on the block. There's always someone who's hot to do much more better than you. So it's also being able to go behind the scenes. Let's talk about how we can prepare for jobs that don't exist yet.
Well, the tricky part about preparing for jobs that don't exist, I mean, this happens a lot, even in the momentum group space where I work, is to say, what will the future world of work look like? So this doesn't necessarily mean we're creating for a specific job that does not exist yet, but we're also teaching young people to be flexible, adaptable, and be proactive, so that whenever an opportunity comes, you are ready to pounce. And in most instances, we don't have to wait for opportunities. Let us create opportunities. Be the one who opens the door, sometimes through the sliding door, you know, while the door is still shut. And it's all about now, how do you also become entrepreneurial in terms of your mindset? You know, we just need to shift from a mindset of job seekers, but also let us be opportunity creators as well, and start to identify opportunities even in our own surroundings. That's how the entrepreneurial mind works, because entrepreneurship is all about problem solving. As we are around Ekasi right now, there's a lot of opportunities where we're thinking, through my exposure and the skills that I've acquired, I can now start solving for a problem in a way that will also, you know, make me economically active, whether as an entrepreneur or collaborate with others that can help you advance that ambition. So it's all about, you know, collaborating and making sure that you are ready for the next opportunity. So the jobs of the future, it's nothing specific, but it's the mindset that needs to be ready for any opportunity that may arise.
Thank you so much for your insights, Mr. Nkosinati. Let's give him one more time a round of applause. We now cross over to Mr. Mvelo Mhlophe, who's going to be our last speaker as we continue to chat more about AI, digital tech economy. Mr. Mvelo, I think the conversations that I've had with young people, they are intimidated by AI, the digital tech economy. For someone who is a young person and thinks that tech is too difficult, how do you simplify entry into the digital world?
Sanbonan. Ndiyaphila. That's good. I think for context more than anything, so my name is Mvelo, so we run an online school where we actually teach people these skills. So we teach people from different backgrounds in terms of coding, data science, cybersecurity, and in my understanding, IT and tech is broad. So let's not limit ourselves in terms of thinking around what IT and tech actually looks like. So we've dealt with young people. We are young people, the people that actually run the business. In fact, I was 19 years old when I started this business, and you know, that's probably the same age as a lot of people that are in this room today. So in dealing with young people, you understand that there's certain barriers that are self-imposed. Hence these misconceptions that come up. It's like, I can't do this because X, Y, Z. I can't do this because I never studied maths, I never did science, I never did whatever. If anything, those are just excuses, guys. So getting into tech, you can get into tech in different ways, in different, with using different skill sets and using the strengths that you yourself have. And combining that with the passions that you have. Let's say you like, sports, you like to analyze sports. Maybe data science is the thing that you need to do, and not necessarily building applications, because everyone is saying to get into tech, you need to be a software developer, etc. So you combine your skill sets, you combine your passions, and you then use your creativity and problem-solving prowess or skills to be able to then succeed in this space. It's not a thing of, because everyone says tech is about maths, about this, about that, and the other. It's really about you at the end of the day. You need to be ready. You need to understand exactly what you want, and you're using tech to be able to get to exactly where you're trying to get within the space of tech.
All right. Also, can you take us through the accessible pathways for beginners, when it comes to people with no experience? How do we get into it?
So one of the gentlemen here did say that, these things are freely accessible on the internet. One of the ways that I'm actually learning personally now is actually through things like social media. So TikTok and YouTube Shorts, for example, are really great ways and great tools to be able to learn any skill. There's an expert somewhere that you can access freely, of course, with the cost of data, that can teach you and show you how to do anything. There's a specific tool that I'm running now. It's called OpenClaw. It's really just a combination of ChatGPT, Claude, and all these other large language models that we see and use now, and combining it with something called an agent, or to basically automate my workflow. Again, going back to the first question, that's another way to get into tech. I'm not building apps, I'm not doing anything. I'm doing my work that I do every day, but I'm automating certain things that I'm doing every single day. Would somebody then call me a tech expert? Not necessarily. It's just that I'm using tech to be able to make my life easier at the end of the day. So, yes, then going back to the question, those are, you can get into tech in many ways. Yes, you can go to online schools such as Zayo and the rest of that, but using your phone that you use every day, you can then learn how to use tech using the exact same platforms that you go to every day. You just need to put the time aside to actually use it for that specific purpose.
All right, before we let you go and then get into the Q&A session from the audience, I think I'd love to hear from most of the people joining us here. Advice that you would give a young person that wants to start in tech but does not know how to start?
All right, there's many ways to be successful in tech, right? Getting into tech is probably one of the easiest things. So being successful in tech requires a couple of things. Of course, is discipline like anything else, but at the same time, what makes you successful in tech, either to get a job or to get more work, if you think you're freelancing, is to actually build a portfolio. So you need to prove to people that you are able to do something. And for the longest time, accreditation and all these things were the way to do it. In economics, we call it signaling to the labor market, or signaling to the market that you're able to do something. But in this space specifically, the best way to signal is that you have done something in the past that means you have the skill sets and the ability to do something else in the future. So whenever you're starting, obviously learn the theory, learn to have the skill, but as you're learning, build projects, freelance for people, work for small businesses, and build a portfolio of evidence to actually show that you do have the skill sets and you understand what you're doing, and then you can also then deliver for that person, be it an employer or be it another person looking to give you a business. But build your portfolio, and then that's the best way to showcase yourself and be successful in the world of tech.
Right, thank you. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Mvelo. And we hope that this session you've just really been empowered and less intimidated by technology, because if you don't start, you won't know how to begin as well. I don't know if we have any questions from the audience. I think it is imperative that we ask questions. And I think one thing I learned as well in school is that there's no such thing as a stupid question. So I think we do have a few hands that are up over here. Right, should I pass the mic down? Or should they come over there? Okay. I think anyone from this side can come through and then ask the question. I see someone standing over there. right, all good.
Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank our panelists for such an engaging conversation. And it's not often where we have industry experts in one room sharing such insightful information with us. So thank you so much, guys, for your input and driving this conversation. My question is, I think I will just base it off what Professor Speech said earlier on when he said that AI and digital transformation are not things of the future, but rather something that's happening in the present. So given these paradigm shifts in artificial intelligence and the fourth industrial revolution, how do we advance and embrace AI and innovation whilst still advocating for the ethical use of artificial intelligence? And especially when we look at things such as financial technology to try and prohibit illegal activities and crime in our country. When we look at fintech, we have things like fraud and scams on, a rise on a daily basis. When we look at entertainment, the entertainment industry, we have infringement on intellectual property rights. And then when we also look at academia, how do we ensure that we are producing graduates that have the necessary skills and adequately competent and not entirely dependent on artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Mr. Lincoln, would you like to take this one?
The point is well made. I am a writer. I love writing. So I was asked to deliver a speech. This is in September. This is not far. And I wrote the speech. I always ask my colleagues to add. When the speech came back, the level of the speech I had written versus the level of the speech I got back was chalk and cheese. So there's a bit of pride in being a writer. How could the feedback from my colleagues take this speech to this level? Then I said thank you to the colleague, and then I did the speech, and then I was asked to do another speech. Then I said to the colleague, can you put it in that thing of yours? That speech was even better. From that day, every speech I write, I am able to use AI to take my content, use the millions of brains that are in AI to enhance my speech. It's not as if I can just put something there without thinking, but it takes my knowledge together with other knowledges and produces something different and better. Secondly, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to my colleagues. I've put in an ability to listen what they say. I've put what they've said in AI. It gives me a summary of what my colleagues have said. When I leave today, I already have a summary of what my colleagues have said. That's technology helping you. So in my company, we are now starting to make sure that all of our employees are embracing AI in what they do. It will enhance everything they do. It will save them time in what they do. Now let me come to the points you've raised about how we deal with the negatives. Fraud. AI fraud detection is better than 50 humans that can try and detect, because AI is able at scale, as one of my colleagues was saying, to deal with fraud. Cyber attacks are sophisticated things that involve governments. If you're not using AI, you are bringing a knife to a gunfight, right? So there's always things that you need to do then to deal the ethical things. But as the minister said, start by embracing the reality of the technology. And then you can then deal with what are the difficulties. But if we say, let's start think of all of the things that can go wrong, we will not be able to embrace the technologies. Industries are being built as we speak. New jobs are being developed as we speak. New careers are being developed through AI. That is the reality we face. We can't go back to the old way because of the fears of what may go wrong. What may go wrong is things that we can also use the same technology to make sure that we are guard against those things. So there are new protocols that are being developed for AI, but the future is already defined, as Professor was saying. Let me leave you with this thought. Just think about the fact that one of the leading AI minds in the world is Professor Mawala, who was born in a village in Limpopo in Beli. Today, he is the Vice Chancellor of the United Nations University. He is designing the future of what AI can do to change circumstances of the environments it came from, but also using the same time to deal the dangers that are there. So it's not either or, it's and. It's not AI versus risks, it's AI and also managing the risks. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that one, Mr. Lincoln. I saw a couple of hands as well. There's a lady over there. You can come through, ma'am. Please come through to the mic over here. Or we already have someone. Okay, you'll take it after him. All good.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Pila Sande, and I have a few questions regarding AI. I don't know if they're negative, but my first question is, what happens when the AI gets it wrong? Is the human that's gonna roll back or fold the loop back of the AI? That's my first question. And then my other question is, how will measure success, accuracy, time saved, revenue, or something else help with the AI? And then what specific problem is AI trying to solve, or what specific problem are we hoping AI solves better than our current process?
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question.
I really appreciate the question, and I think the starting point here is we need to move from perfection to action. Because when we wait for perfection, the world will be far ahead from us. And what AI is here to solve for is actually the gaps and the challenges you have identified as young people, the challenges that us as human beings have identified. So we're bringing AI as an enabler or as a catalyst to fast track the change that we want to see in the system, or to bridge the gap that we have identified. And looking in terms of how authentic or what are the errors that AI will bring, that also is another opportunity that creates another problem-solving platform, because we are in a world whereby we need to change from seeing things as problems but as challenges, so that when we are posed with a challenge, we have the tools and the resources that we can, use to overcome and solve for that challenge. Sometimes we cannot solve it alone, but that's where the power of collaboration comes through, to say, let's bring our minds together. We've got tools, and the tech has given us some know-how. How do we solve for the identified problem? So I think that's the notion, or the way we need to tackle it, as a problem-solving journey that is continuous but filled with opportunities.
All right, thank you. We do have more. We've got exactly 6 minutes left for the Q&A session, and we are ready for our next question.
Good morning, everyone. So my question is, as Mr. Nkosnati said, one of the misconceptions of AI is that it's easy, but it's not. And so we've heard that we should go on our phones and try and look for these online courses and so on, and they're free, which is true. But my question is, after getting those online courses, where do you go with them? Because everyone is getting them, but not everyone is able to use them. So with you as the people that are dealing with these people that are into AI on a daily basis, would you go for someone who only has a course but no experience, or would you build them experience, and how would you have them come to you in that way that you would be able to help them gain that experience and use it either through funding or through providing a learnership for them? Or would you just go for someone who already has the experience? And if so, then how would you advise them to go about getting that qualification in a way that it actually adds value, not just a list in their CV? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm very much pleased to see that even our sisters are taking part in this tech conversation, because you know tech is usually seen as a male-dominated space. And thanks for that question. I mean, getting skills is all good and well, but where to apply the skills? Because I come from a corporate environment, and the work that we do through the Momentum Group Foundation is to bridge the gap in terms of the skills that we are exposing our young people to. They need to be converted into opportunities that are income generating, whether starting a business or securing a job. And we create opportunities through internships, learnerships, and these are through an array of partners that we have in making sure that the skills that we have acquired, they will only become useful when you know how to apply them. And one of the advices I'd like to share with the young people is that once you have those skills, before you even think about getting that big paycheck, try volunteering your skills as well. There's a lot of opportunities that can be unlocked through volunteerism, because when you volunteer, number one, you are building your network. And by building your network, you are exposing yourself to potential employers or potential business partners. So once you have the acquired skill, in terms of where to go to, as the sister has asked, there are platforms such as LinkedIn. You follow people on LinkedIn in as much as you follow dancers on TikTok. So when you go on LinkedIn, you go there with the why behind the platform. You follow people that are in the spaces that you are looking forward to participating in. You get to research, and by researching, I'm not saying go make a big study about where they're from and what they ate, but research in terms of how did they get there and what does it take for me as a young person to get there or to be in that environment. So please do volunteer, and network with the like-minded people, and let us seek those mentors. I mean, I grew up in an era where we used to have role models. And now we are in an era where there's coaches and there's mentors, and now there's online platform, thanks to technology, where those platforms can unlock people that we can network with in order for us to build our net worth. So as a parting shot to the question in terms of one of the places that you can visit, which is where I come from, on your Instagrams, do follow the Momentum Group Foundation. We have a number of programs and partners that give skills and also take those skills into work experience opportunities, and then that is also converted into absorption into employment. So when you go onto that platform, you will see a number of programs that we have as the Momentum Group Foundation and our partners that we work with, especially now when we're talking tech. We have partners such as We Think Code, partners such as Life Choices Academy, the Faith Mangope Technology and Leadership Institute, to mention just a few. So we do have vehicles through which young people can definitely thrive, but we will be able to point you in the right direction to utilize the skill. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We have 2 more questions.
Before we move on, can I just add to that?
All right.
So, learnerships, guys, they're plenty, and fantastic work that Momentum is doing. I think around that kind of community development, that is one of the best ways that corporates can actually impact communities. But I think going back to the question that my sister was actually asking, there was a lot of answers within the question itself. So you asked that we're all doing these free courses, and we're getting these free skills. But the question is, are you actually using them, right? And is the avenue, though, the only avenue that you're looking to actually use them through learnerships, through getting a job, through somebody actually saying, hey, come here, come use the skill that you picked up? Why are you not using that skill yourself and actually building a portfolio, volunteering, going on other platforms like Fiverr, like Upwork, and other platforms where you can offer your skill set to the gig economy? And you are then building a portfolio while actually earning, instead of saying, hey, let me go look for a learnership to get a stipend, and then I have this experience to get a job afterwards. There are different ways that you can actually still get that skill, use that skill, and then actually be marketable in the markets at the end of the day. So just maybe not just sit on the skills and wait for the opportunity, but rather get the skills and then look, what can I do with the skill and what platforms can I use to actually then get work to get that experience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mvelo. We also have another question coming through.
Good morning. I am CJ Audrey-Nelana, and my question is, or my opening statement is that within marketing, AI has transformed so much of how we think as marketers, as I am a marketing student. And it enables personalized, data-driven, and effective strategies. However, it impacts not equally across the world because there are developing countries. And my question then would be, is AI widening or reducing inequality in developing economies?
Interesting question. I don't know who wants to take this one.
So I want us to go back to, I hope at the end of this thing, we don't discuss AI as something. It's like AI is, yeah. So think about technologies. Just think about technologies. There are people in this room who've got these phones that tell them to stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, how many kilometers they've run. And anyone who's got those phones here? Watches. You got these watches. This stupid thing I was given for my birthday. This thing talks back. It tells me my heart rate. It tells me, and it reports to my wife, everything, this thing. This is technology that's taken something that was there and brought it here. Some people who came here used GPS to get here. These are the realities of how technology can be used. So AI are just more advancing technologies. Their use cases depend on people. So on some issues, I agree with you, those technologies make the gap bigger. But on some things, they actually narrow the gap. Because they mean somebody can sit here and develop a product or a solution that can decimate another industry. For that individual, life has changed, or they've changed a problem that society has never been able to deal with. Let me talk about medical things. Technology can now diagnose things where people don't have to come and queue at a clinic, but they can on their phone write something and diagnoses them, and they're able to get solved. So what AI is a set of technologies. How they can be used depends on the use cases and leadership. That is why governments have to be at the forefront of those technologies. That's why organizations have to be at the forefront of those technologies. And then society, to your point, must guard that they don't leave certain developing countries behind. I'll just leave you with a thought. The very wars we're watching now being fought, AI is at the center of those wars today. That is the reality. It's not illusion that may be coming one day. This thing is here now. You are using the technologies as we speak. You would not live without those technologies. It is what is the use case. Let me give you one small example, which is related to the previous question that was asked by one of my colleagues who asked about fraud. In our companies, we are trying our best to run companies. But there are other, sometimes young people who are developing a product to steal from us using technology. You are not going to stop technology because of those young people that are sitting in the corner who are designing something that's going to take money from somebody's account. Am I making sense? The reality is we should use technology for the things we want to do to develop society and be better than the Tsotsis or better than the people who want to be better than others, right? How do you make Sentin not to be more important than Sibokeng? Technology can do that if you have the right leaders, the right leadership, and the right thinking. So the problem is not in the technology. The problem is in our thinking of how we use the technology for our own benefits. That's what I would say.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Lincoln. We've got one more question coming through from the audience before we wrap up. Take it away, sir.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I only have two questions. My first question is in terms of reliability. How reliable they are, AIs reliable they are. And then my last question, maybe if you have an idea, let's say, for instance, I have an idea of bank, like when we withdraw money, we see that our grandparents and other disabled people are struggling. So where do we share this kind of ideas? Like when you withdraw money, you don't enter a card, you just speak to the ATM, then it scans you, then the money just withdrawn.
I'll answer the first one, I'll ask my colleagues to answer the second one. Again, I go back to what I said about the technology. The technology can get things completely wrong, particularly if the person who's using it either doesn't know the very subject. There was a case reported where a lawyer used AI to argue their case in the court. And they didn't do their work. And the judges said, these cases you're quoting are not there. So it doesn't substitute for your knowledge and your diligence in doing what you do, right? You said that you can use, in the radio environment, technology to read the news. But the news have to be accurate. We don't blame the technology because somebody put the news wrong, right? So the technology can get it completely wrong. There are times when I'm preparing and I write something, and this thing comes and it's gone this other way. I'm the one who have to say, no. I'm not talking about that. I am going to talk at the Vaal. And they're like, okay, where's the Vaal? Then you have to tell it where the Vaal is. So you guide the technology, and the more you make mistakes with it, the more it learns. It learns your language, it learns your style, it learns the way. Some of the dangers are that it can also impersonate. So in some environments, when I speak about AI, I don't speak myself. I develop the speech itself and make AI to make me speak there. And so people are like, but it's you. And then I would say, okay, this version is a lie, that's not me. And this version is true. And sometimes the gap is very little. So you might have seen things on TikTok and other places where you see somebody like, why would they say that? Let's say it's Mr. Masiza. Suddenly you see Mr. Masiza saying things like, this is not the Mr. Masiza we know. And it is because somebody impersonated him using AI. So AI can get it wrong. That's why my colleagues were saying there are problems and mistakes. But let's not make the 20% of problems to deny the 80% of the opportunity. That really is our message.
Yes, can I just jump onto that? Where AI, guys, is a tool. I think that's what we need to just get on the same page around. And how well you use the tool is completely up to you. So I can use a hammer one way, and Unkosinati here and my brother that side can also use a hammer another way, and we become skilled craftsmen in different ways. And that's how AI is. AI can seem to make a mistake in your eyes, but in the way I'm thinking about it, it might not be making a mistake. It's doing exactly what it was supposed to do. So you have to then develop the skill to be able to use AI. So we have we call them jobs or other professions now. It's called things like prompt engineering. Prompt engineering, in short, is basically how you speak to an AI to do a certain task and give you a certain outcome. Those are new jobs, by the way, and I think going back to the question of inclusion, those are the kind of things you need to also consider, that there's new jobs coming up because of AI. So moving from certain jobs to other jobs, so maybe we are creating more jobs instead of actually destroying jobs. But going back to my point, because things like prompt engineering exist, you yourself need to understand where the AI is and at what level it is now developed. It obviously over the past couple of months has gotten better. They've improved on certain things, they've improved on it hallucinating and the rest of that. But to get better at using AI, to minimize the number of errors that it has, you yourself also need to use the tools and get better at the tools, so that the room for error is actually minimized. It will still make errors, but you yourself need to improve to make sure that it isn't making those errors. And then I'll just leave the last question to you then.
All right. I think the latter part of the gentleman's question was on ideas. He mentioned something about the banks, and if you have an idea, where do you go to? I think the starting point with an idea, number one, it's all good and well you have an idea, and should that be an original idea, make sure you protect your intellectual property, your IP. I mean, we all know what happened to Please Call Me. So you make sure that you protect your IP, so that before you go and pitch this creative out-of-the-box idea, you know that you are protected adequately and this idea is yours. So that if it works, you have to be there when it works. Don't sit on the couch and see your idea being used or flourishing because of someone you shared that with. So I think that would be the starting point, and I'm glad that the Empower Youth team will be talking entrepreneurship and business pitch, because that's how we also calibrate the mindset of an entrepreneur to say, how do you protect your IP, which is your intellectual property and your ideas, before you expose it to the world, because some of the ideas get taken by the very same people you're chilling with, because they know that I'm going to take Temba's idea, because Temba slow, data. I'm taking the idea, I'm going to pitch, and I'm going to just paint it blue and make it mine. So make sure that you safeguard what's yours. No matter how excited you are about the idea, make sure that the audiences you shared it with are the right type of audiences. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much to our wonderful speakers for sharing insights when it comes to AI, automation, and of course the tech economy. Gentlemen, that was very informative, and I hope that we learned something, and I hope that we also got something from there. Thank you for joining us on stage, and that's how we wrap up the conversation and our fireside chat. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Right, so the learning doesn't stop, it continues. We've got some more exciting stuff, but we have to take some content.
Sorry, I thought Mr. Masiza will do this announcement, but he wants me to do it. I have a youth leadership summit that is done every year with the collaboration with another university in the country. We invite top leaders to spend a day with young people between the ages of 21 to 35, and unfortunately only 200 young people can get there. And so I was so excited by seeing so many young people, and I thought, how could I give back? And I text Mr. Masiza to say if he will find a way of choosing 3 young people who will attend the summit as volunteers. The summit is on the 20th of June. It will be out there on social media. It's called the Youth Leadership Summit. So 3 very lucky young people will join us on that day. Thank you, Mr. Masiza, for the opportunities you create.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lincoln. And the learning doesn't stop. We continue with more exciting stuff, more discussions. I will be having a fireside chat with a lady who's doing incredible stuff. She goes by the name of Garabo. Can we kindly give a round of applause to her? Garabo Mutawung. She's a principal analyst, advocacy, and stakeholder relations, representing the Competition Commission of South Africa. Yeah, we can give her another round of applause. She looks absolutely amazing, and thank you for joining me on stage. We talk about something exciting right now. We're talking all things skills development. And the conversation that we're going to have will be based on future skills, digital jobs, and youth opportunity. And I'm just going to let Garabo settle. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thanks, and yourself.
I'm great,
Good morning,
thank you.
lovely people.
I think it's because there's a way that they greet you. What is it again? 018. Yeah.
18 hours. Emoyeni.
Emoyeni. Is it the one? All right. So Garab has mentioned we're talking future skills, digital jobs, and youth opportunity. And from your perspective, let's talk about the digital skills that you think that the people in Sebokeng can learn this year with just a phone and data.
So I'm from the Competition Commission. Maybe it's important that I just give some sort of context, right? And so we are a regulator. And just in very simple terms, if we're talking AI, we're talking digital markets, you would think automatically of your Googles, you would think of your Takealots or other e-commerce platforms, right? And so as with any industry, what you do find is that as businesses grow, they become more powerful, they become more dominant, right? And so what they do is that they are able to use their power in such a way that they abuse it to the detriment of ourselves as consumers, but also to the detriment of small businesses, right? So you think of yourself as an SMME that's trying to put your products, for example, on Takealot, right? What Takealot can do, because of their size, they are able to maybe set very high listing fees that make it difficult for SMMEs such as you and I to loading our products on their platform and being able to sell through platforms such as those. So maybe I thought it was just important for me to be able to give context into where I come from and why I'm here, right? So our job really is to make sure that we regulate the behavior of such firms, right? And we regulate businesses across various economies. So the digital platform is just one of those economies, right? So we would regulate the behavior of your Googles, your Takealots, so as to ensure that whatever it is that they do in running their businesses, they do not jeopardize the ability of SMMEs to get onto platforms. I'm going to go back quickly to your question and going back to perhaps what are some of the opportunities, right, that digital platforms are creating for SMMEs. I'm going to give a very, very simple example. Previously, if you think of retail, right, or going into a retail and selling products, you would have to have a shop, physical store, or you would have to go and rent out property, right? And of course, we know that as SMMEs, one of the challenges that we face is access to finance, right? So that, of course, would be costly for you. But in the world of digital technology and digital platforms, entrepreneurs are able to put their products on platforms such as Facebook Marketplace, right? What that means is that as an SMME, you are not spending costs on rental, on property, but it also means that your product can reach more consumers, right? It means that you are not limited to the community where your shop is, right? You are able to extend your product and make it available to more consumers. So these are just some of the opportunities that digital platforms provide to young people, right? So, I mean, the previous panel spoke about the good and the bad, but I think, you know, yes, there are challenges, but I think it's also important to also think and encourage or speak more about the positivities, right? Because we do want to encourage young people, as Ntate Mali said, to not see AI and digital platforms as this monster, but to see it as a platform where they are able to participate as well.
Thank you for that. And I think also another thing is that AI is here and it's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. So what do you think are some of the jobs that it will kill in South Africa, and jobs that you think it will create, you know, jobs that don't even have names yet?
Listen, I never want to speak about AI as killing anything or any job, right? I always want to think about it, and I want to encourage young people to think about it as something that can help improve processes. Again, the previous panel mentioned, if you're thinking about how you automate your day-to-day, if you're thinking about an SMME that's running a shop, that's running a business, instead of doing your finances on Excel on a daily basis, for example, right, which would take hours of your time as an SMME, and you can imagine most of SMMEs or businesses are owner-run, right? So as the owner, if you're sitting for 3 hours trying to balance your finances and balance your books, that's 3 hours away from something that you could have invested, time that you could have invested perhaps in creating products, thinking of ideas, engaging other entrepreneurs or networking, right? So think of AI as a way, or technologies as a way of as a platform that you can help to improve your service, that can help to improve the way in which you do things, shortening the time that you spend, right, on doing manual tasks, right? And I think when it comes to thinking about jobs that it can create, digital platforms can be absolutely anything that we want it to be. And again, I'm going to applaud the young gentleman who spoke about perhaps an idea of speaking to an ATM, right? I realized that he's visually impaired, and maybe a lot of us in the room thought, why would he come up with a solution that speaks to talking to an ATM, right? But think about it, for someone who's visually impaired, he cannot see the screen. He cannot press the buttons that are there. That is an idea. So again, we need to think about where we are. What is it that you are struggling with today? What is it that your neighbor, what is it that your colleagues are struggling with? And what is a solution that you can come up with that can help your colleagues? Digital skills and access to digital skills is a huge problem, right? And one of the organizations that I speak broadly about and very proudly about is an organization called EmpowaYouth, which is established here in the Vaal by a Valian called Lawrence Gege. He saw the gap when it comes to skills development in the Vaal, and also access for young people to things such as digital technologies. Not all of us grew up in homes where you have a computer and there's cell phones and there's unlimited access to Wi-Fi. So he created a small platform where he started off by saying, I'm going to provide computers, we're going to do computer training, and we're going to start empowering young people and providing them with digital skills. So let's think about it as something that we can create and develop and create the jobs that we want. There are no jobs that AI is going to create. The jobs that are going to be created are sitting in the minds of all the people that are sitting in this room.
Absolutely love that. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. You talk a lot about digital skills, and I want us to tap into digital skills. What is the one digital skill that you think we young people might consider boring, but we should really be paying close attention to, or that really pays well?
We need to read. If we don't read, you see, one thing that we should not think of AI as is a shortcut. We need to be able to read. We need to be able to understand. The only way in which we can leverage off technology in a positive way, in a way that advances us, is if we understand how it works. And so we should not be lazy to go and read and go and do our research.
Did we get that? Thank you, Karabo. Digital jobs, where is the work? Where can we find the work? Let's talk about that. Where SA companies actually are hiring young people?
Look, I just work for a regulator, so I'm not very much into the space of digital technology and digital work, right? But again, I do want to emphasize the fact that we are sitting on the jobs that we need to be creating in this space, right? We talk about creative markets. Let's talk about YouTube. Right, it has presented a platform where content creators that ordinarily may not have access to an SABC, to a Theta FM, they are able to sit down with the data that they have, with the phone that they have, and be able to record content, right? They're able to record content of other people and place it on social media and on YouTube. People are earning an income from YouTube, a steady income from YouTube. So again, let us not try and obtain skills because we are thinking firm 1 or company 2 or company 3 is going to hire me. Those companies are not looking for skills that are here today. They're probably looking for skills that you can develop. They're trying to find you as an individual. What is it that you are going to bring that is unique to the table? It is we are very past the age, and I think one of the panelists here said, perhaps what he studied long time ago is potentially not relevant today. So look at where are your areas of choice. What are your things? What are the things that interest you as an individual? Build those skills and go and sit in an interview and say, I may not be able to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I can definitely bring 1, 2, 3, and 5 skills that you are going to need. Maybe not today, but tomorrow, because the people whose problems I can solve are going to be your consumers tomorrow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then one thing that I'm learning in my industry, I think I'd like to also like us to unpack that as well, is the importance of having a stable income. You know, something stable, something solid, because the industry sometimes, you know, stuff happens. And I think I learned that with COVID-19. So there's that gig work versus full-time jobs. Is digital jobs creating something that's stable, or can it be considered, I beg your pardon, as just a side hustle?
Listen, digital technologies evolve every day. Platforms evolve every day, right? And so there's so much that can be done in 30 minutes that we are sitting here. There's probably people that are creating new platforms. So what would have been a salary for you yesterday or an income for you yesterday is probably not going to be relevant when we leave this room. And so we cannot be thinking about technology. One, I don't want us to think about it as a side hustle. It is a job that is continuously changing and growing, and we need to think about it that way. And we need to keep up. And that's why I spoke about understanding the rules, understanding how it works, understanding what is relevant. You know, what was relevant this morning may not be relevant right now. So let's not think about, and I think just personally, I think we need to move away from the idea of business, creating business, and whether we create businesses in physical form, whether we create business on digital platforms as side hustles. There is no side hustles. We are not side hustling. We are building economies, and we are contributing to the economy of South Africa. We are building businesses, and we need to move away from it being a side hustle. When you are sitting in front of that phone and you are creating content, that is your craft. That is your job in that moment, and you need to think about it as that. Give it your all. It might not bring you a steady income at the end of the month, but it is going to give you an income that can potentially stimulate you and advance you into something else. So growing income, particularly through digital markets, is something that we should see as rapidly growing. It is not stagnant, right? And a lot of we're also seeing that actually in your typical day jobs, right, where it's not about having a steady income. It's important to have a steady income, right? But people are going out and saying, what is it that I can do to get more? Because what is steady today, like I said, I might not have it tomorrow. Right, it might not be relevant tomorrow. My educational level, whatever I learned from my degree back then, might not be relevant tomorrow. And so what is it that I'm doing to upskill myself, right, so that I can ensure that tomorrow I'm still relevant?
All right, so I'd also like to get the audience in on this one. If you feel like there's any questions that I didn't ask that you'd really want to ask Karabo, I think this is the perfect time to do that. Do we have any questions for Karabo? Anyone? All right, we have someone over there. Can you kindly come through to the front so we can get your question?
I think maybe as he's walking through, I'm going to take this opportunity because I have the platform in the mic, right? So I mentioned earlier, you know, some of the abusive tendencies that your big tech companies can have, right? And they can take advantage of small businesses, etc. And so one of the things the Commission did a couple of years ago was we launched a market inquiry into online platforms where we looked at the behavior such as your Google, your Ubers, right? Your Uber platform, your Take-A-Lot. And we did find that actually those people are engaging, or those platforms are engaging in behavior that essentially undermines the participation of SMMEs. And so one of the tools, or what our act, the legislation or the law allows the Commission to be able to do, is that if they found that there is behavior in a market that is anti-competitive, they can come up with recommendations and remedial actions, right, that seek to address that behavior. And so what the Commission did, actually, it came up with a number of recommendations that those platforms are supposed to implement initiatives and measures that are supposed and aimed at advancing SMMEs. For example, when you think of Google, right? Google was instructed in terms, in respect of their recommendations, to go and come up with initiatives that SMMEs that are active in developing platforms or programs and participating in online platforms, to go and uptake some of these free initiatives, free mentoring, free training offered by Google as a result of the recommendation by the Competition Commission. We do have a masterclass that I think is happening after this session, and we will be sharing more information around some of those initiatives that are available today as a result of the work of the Competition Commission, that are available to young people that are saying we want to get onto digital platforms. There's mentoring. If you've got products that you are offering and you are not able to advertise them on Google, Google actually has a budget that has been allocated to SMMEs that can go and apply to have their products advertised on the Google platform because of some of these initiatives. And so we are here saying we want to talk to young people about these initiatives are out there, but I said we need to read, we need to do our research. That information is sitting somewhere, and young people that are reading are getting access to those opportunities. So I want to encourage all of you that are here, please come through today. We do have it on a QR code. If you take a picture of the QR code, you'll be able to see all the recommendations that have been made. There's opportunities at Uber, at Takealot, at yourbooking.com, at Google, and many other digital platforms as well. So please do take advantage of those opportunities. Thank you.
All right, thank you, KB. My good sir, you can take the mic, please. Introduce your name and your question, please.
Hello. Sorry. My name is Caesar. The first part of my question you just answered right now. My second part would be, certain industries have really high barriers to entry, right? So I wanted to know, what sort of support, or does the Competition Commission offer support to a startup trying to enter into these industries?
Thank you very much. So unfortunately we don't offer funding, right? But we are a regulator, and what we do is we are able to use our powers, the powers that we are given by the Act, to, for example, go and investigate if there is some sort of artificial barriers that are existing in a particular sector, to go and analyze whether these barriers are structural, artificial, whether they are there as a result of other regulations or government policies and initiatives, right? And so we are able, through our own processes and through our Act, to go and negotiate, right, whether it is with regulators, whether it is with market participants, to be able to reduce these barriers so that we are able to open up the market for SMMEs. The Commission is a regulator that wherein you are, as an individual, whether as a consumer or an SMME, able to lodge a complaint directly with the Competition Commission and saying, this is a problem that I am facing. We don't need it to be a problem that multiple people are facing. You as an individual, if you are facing a problem with a particular company that is making it impossible for you to enter the market, you can come and lodge a complaint with the Competition Commission. We are required, in terms of our Act, to investigate every single complaint and to come up with a finding at the end. So don't let people tell you you need to pay to come and access the Competition Commission. We are there trying to break these barriers, right? Yesterday when I was speaking to young people, I was speaking about, I guess, maybe one of the most simple and maybe well-versed interventions that we've done as the Commission is around the issues of school uniform, right? So we know that schools, a lot of them have been forcing parents to go and buy school uniform from one supplier. That supplier has been supplying that school for many, many years, forever. We don't know where that contract comes from. How did that supplier get that contract? It was not through a competitive process. And why is that supplier there? So if I, Karabo, as a young entrepreneur, want to come and supply that school says, no, we already have a supplier. That is anti-competitive, because how was that contract reached with that supply? Why is it that that agreement is there for 50, however many years? So those are some of the issues that we are trying to resolve. And if there are schools, for example, that are still continuing with those behaviors, we rely on yourselves as consumers, we rely on yourselves as SMMEs to bring that information forth to us so that we can go and engage, because it is important that we get rid of those very long agreements so that we can open up the space for young entrepreneurs that say, I want to supply uniform to this particular school, right? And SMMEs need to be given an opportunity to go and say, this is what I can offer, so that as parents as well, as consumers, we also have a choice in terms of where we buy. So these are just some of the very mundane but day-to-day interventions of the Competition Commission that you sitting there maybe might not realize affect you, but they actually do affect you. When the price of bread goes up, why is it that the price of bread is going up? Is it because companies have decided to collude? They've decided to fix the price of bread so that you and I are paying 40 rand for a loaf of bread? Those are some of the things that we as the Competition Commission investigate. So yes, there are those barriers, but it is our job and our role to ensure that we reduce those barriers so that they do not burden and make it impossible for SMMEs to enter and participate in markets.
Garaba, thank you so much. Let's give her a warm round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to believe that we don't have any more questions. No question. I see a hand up there. Oh, there's a few more questions coming up. All right, we have exactly 10 minutes dedicated to Q&A. Before they take over the mic, Garabo, I think I would like to know, looking ahead, looking at the future, year 2030, the youth in South Africa, the youth that will win are the people who do what? The young people that will win in South Africa, what type of people do you think will win?
These are the people that are willing to challenge the status quo. These are the people that are saying, I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to take the fact that government is unable to create jobs for us today. These are the young people that are saying, I am going to stand up and I am going to be a contributor and a creator of jobs in this economy, because we know very well that as things stand, without, for example, we know that government has not undertaken construction projects in a very long time, and construction is one of the biggest industries and one of the biggest employers. And so if construction is not happening, what is it that you as an individual, what is it that you are going to, are you going to sit back and wait for government to come up with a tender that's going to create jobs? We don't know when that is going to come. So what is it that you are doing today? I always tell Simpiwe, he knows this is my pain. I say, you know, there's a lot of noise around the way the Vaal is so dirty, there's dump sites, excuse me, and all of that. But what is it that we as young people in this room doing about that? Are we collecting that material? Do we understand that such material can be recycled? Do we understand that we can create jobs and economies that contribute to the green economy through recycling of plastics, through recycling of tins, through recycling of bottles? We can do that. But we want to sit and complain and wait for a job and wait for government to bring tenders. Let us go and start collecting. Those people that are collecting these bags and rubbishes, I'm telling you, those people are making money every day. That person can bag a 900 rand every single day because they are carrying a bag of plastic bottles. Yet we are sitting, and because we think we can't do the job. So again, let's look at what is in front of us and what is it that we can do with the opportunities that are here to create employment.
Thank you for that one. Let's get straight into our first question.
Dumela, Kalibitso ke Sibusiso Jodo, and I have a simple question. You emphasized a lot about reading. So my question is, what do we read necessarily? And what if whatever we are reading, we find it boring? Should we enjoy it, or should we move on to something more exciting? Thank you.
What a question.
Let me tell you, so I read because I always say I have funk, which is the fear of not knowing. I'm not necessarily interested or very excited about what's happening with the police, but everybody knows, and so I must also know. So I'm going to go and read about it, not because it's interesting to me, but because I feel I need to know what everybody in the country knows, right? So yes, sometimes you'll find that there is something that you don't find interesting, but is it going to move your knowledge tomorrow? Right? Reading is not easy. It can be very difficult. It can be challenging, right? But we also need to set our minds right. Also, you also need to strike a balance, right? If you're going to read something that's boring, also find something that you can read after that that's going to excite you, right? That way you are able to balance the reading, but we cannot run away. We cannot shy away from reading, and newspapers and digital, information that is in the digital platforms, we need to be able to read, we need to be able to know and understand, because like I said, you cannot solve problems that you don't know.
Right, thank you. We have another question.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sis Karabo, for the engaging conversation. So my question today is, what are the benefits or the pros of digital transformation or evolution in terms of recruitment nowadays? Because I'm a human resources graduate, and we are well aware that in the recruitment process, many things are automated. Nothing is done manually these days. So I want to understand or be put at ease also for the people that are busy applying. We are well aware that CVs are being automatically, being done, serviced, and selected. So what are the pros and what are the benefits of that digital transformation or AI?
So I'm going to say the benefit is that there is probably it's faster processing, right, of those CVs. The disadvantage, though, is that AI misses that human element, right? And so we always need to find a balance. Yes, you may want to sift through CVs using digital platforms, right, or digital technologies, because it maybe reduces the time that you would be sitting down as an HR official going through those CVs, right? But we must also not allow ourselves to take away that human element, right, from sitting down with those CVs. So yes, think about it, as I said, as a way of enabling us to do things better, but definitely not as something that is replacing the human touch of being able to physically or individually go and look through some of those CVs and double check. Right, Ntate Lincoln said something earlier. He said he prepares his speeches, right, and then he puts it on the platform. But what does he do? He doesn't take it as it is directly from the platform. He goes and reads it again. So you do want to make sure that whatever you put in, whatever you are putting through those digital platforms, go and review, satisfy yourself, so that you can make sure that it does, at the end of the day, has met your requirements or what it is that you've put in, so that you get in what you want to get out.
All right. All good. Right, thank you. I see we have another hand up. Maybe can we keep the question for later? We've got exactly 5 minutes left, and I'm going to try to get everyone on the side to ask their question. Can we head over to the next one?
All right. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to know, I heard you make an example about a school and uniform contract. So can I just find out if a public benefit organization, is it allowed legally to, because I know it's not for self-enriching, whether for employees or directors, but for reasonable remuneration for service providers. So can you control your service providers to your own choice, or anyone can apply for contracts and then by my choice decline only for my service providers of choice? Is that legal, or should I take everyone in?
No. I mean, there's absolutely no way that you can take everyone in, right? And as a business, it is your prerogative, right, to decide who you bring in and who you do not bring in, right? What is important to understand is that your processes need to be fair. They need to be open. They need to be competitive. That is what is important. Have you given, everyone an opportunity to be able to submit their proposals? That is where the difference lies, right? So we are not here to tell businesses who to employ or who to sign or conclude contracts with, but we are saying, colleagues, we are saying that you need to make sure that your processes are fair and that you've given everyone who has the potential and the capability, the opportunity to be able to come and say, here I am and this is what I can offer. Because what we see most often is that the contract is given to someone who is a friend of someone, who is a friend of someone, who is someone's uncle in the background there, right? So we are saying we need to create opportunities, and how do we do that? We need to open up markets. Right, so it's about creating those opportunities that enable other suppliers to come and present and show you what it is that they can offer, right? And so again, what we're saying to schools, and I must say that, yes, schools always argue that it's efficient for them to deal with one school, right? Or to deal with one supplier, excuse me. We are always encouraging to say, have 2 or 3 suppliers. Help build the pipeline. Again, as businesses, I always say businesses have a responsibility to contribute towards the economic transformation of this country. If you are constantly going to say, Karabo doesn't have capacity, what is it that you are doing as the school to help Karabo build capacity? Why are you not giving Karabo an opportunity to partner with your current supplier so that this supplier can mentor Karabo, so that tomorrow Karabo can have the capability and the capacity to be able to supply your school fully one day?
All right, thank you, Karabo. Hope your question has been answered. That was our last question, unfortunately. Gentlemen, I'm so sorry we didn't get your questions, but I think you can feel free to chat to Karabo afterwards and ask your questions. Are we still good? Are we still having a good time? Are we learning? Absolutely love it. So let's give a warm round of applause to Karabo. Thank you so much for joining us on stage for our fireside chat. We'll chat to you later on. And from our fireside chat, I think, are we getting snaps with Karabo? Or it's snaps. All right, let me join. So from a fireside chat, we move on to more motivation, and I would like to welcome on stage Rev Den Mutawung, who will be giving us a motivational power-up. Can we have Rev Den Mutawung join us on stage? Let's give him a round of applause.
Good morning. I need that energy. You are talking too difficult stuff. Let's lighten up. Good morning. I'm not going to be long. Let me also acknowledge our visionary, our leader, a comrade, a brother, a man who's got it all under his strength. And also let me also appreciate my dear brother, Professor Speech, for having shared such a beautiful presentation in the morning, and also appreciate our Minister Soli Malati for being a young man in the house in times like this, and to all Bra Lincoln, Velo, and who was the other guy? Matlangu? I forgot. Thank you so much for sharing. Karabo, you were so exceptional. I was proud that your surname came Taung. So that made my heart even beam much more harder. And I love that. Now, I'm not going to waste time. I should have spoken in the morning because good subjects are taught in the morning. So how no can I school? First thing in the read and math. On a rebita mathematics, you call it math. Because you teach the hard subjects in the morning. And the lighter ones you teach later after break. Just before you go to break. I want to talk to a few of you. I'm not going to be long, literally not going to be long. And this is not a pastor speech. But I'm not going to be long. In closing, just as I close, finally, in the final analysis, in conclusion, I'm not that one. There is something I want to talk to you about. It's called a vision. Every one of you are sitting under a vision of one man today. And I'm going to ask you to stand on your feet, clap your hands, because in and amongst you, you have a visionary. His name is Simpiwe Masiza. So every one of us, as I would say in my church, every nigger on your feet, put your hands together and appreciate a visionary. Come on, do it better. Appreciate the visionary. You can do much better. You can do much better. You may be seated. I have to do that so that you can, when we are taught what is called public speaking, one of the things you have to do is to read the room. Now, when you read the room, you know that psychology remote to absorb about this much of presentations. It somehow move a break. So I was giving you a break to appreciate and revive your brains a bit. Clap your hands. On a serious note, there's in the Bible people we call the sons of Issachar. My brother, you are one of those sons. You could read at the time and you knew what to do. Where we have a problem in our country, we have too many people who know what is a problem, but they lack the second dimension of problem and economic transformation, is knowing what to do with the problem. And we are here witnessing how this vision, how God has empowered a simple black man wa orange farm in a straight photo. Stratford, to have a vision that does not only embody your children. Our visions are very selfish. It's about me, myself, and I. But your vision is bigger than some of the presidents who has run in this country. Your vision is much stronger. And unfortunately, many of the people that come to your vision are here for selfish gain. They don't comprehend what you're doing. And a lot of us have never understood sitting and standing with visionaries. Visionary people don't talk a lot like us. They do much more than we talk. And that's what I want to compliment you and EmpowaWorks and the whole staff. Even if I don't say much, I want to say to you, you are doing a great job. My prayer for you, my brother and friend, my leader, my comrade, is that God will enlarge your tent, make you stronger, strengthen you, and guide you. Visionaries are always desperate for people that talk to them, because we always come to get from them. If you are a senior or a successful person in your whole family, how's it doing? Yes, thank you. I like that. How's it doing? Everybody, hi, how's Karabo? Hi, Arhonulo Shapisas Topu. I would tell you so fitly. But visionaries empower other people to continue. So we thank you so much. Viola Davis, or let me start with the Chinese proverb that says, don't be afraid of growing slowly. Be afraid of standing still. You have to keep moving. You have to keep moving, because life is for those that keep moving. And we have to understand that to be a visionary is difficult. It is written in the Bible, where there is no vision, the people perish. We need visionaries. Visionaries are people that can point us to a direction and lead us. Nelson Mandela, there are 3 levels of leaders. There are those leaders that can lead from the front, and there are those leaders who know how to lead within. And you are also able to lead without. Without means behind. Not every time when you are a leader, that's what you must learn. And this is what we're teaching. Successful people, I really mean I met really successful people. Some of them do programs that they never appear on stage for. And for you, what you have done for us in this time, technology, is that you have reminded us, as much as we are people of technology, and again, kudos to you, Karabo, you must read. I'll tell you a secret that my Jewish friends told me. They say, and they are not here, ne? Listen. They say, you, Rabbi, Haban Tabets, they call me Rabbi. When they are put me to direction, they call me pastor. Because a pastor is lower than a rabbi. No? But you see, pastor, you give your kids Apple iPhones. We give our kids Apple stocks. Your children have got a gadget. We have the money. The challenge you have, your children are busy on a TikTok, WhatsApp, social media, and everything. Our kids read books. What are you reading determines who you are tomorrow. You will never be able to change the world with only what is in the gadgets. You change the world in what's in here. When I look at people, we read your CVs, or your bios or your resume, they sound good. They sound so perfect. Damn it, sit with these people. When those things are not there, we are engaging. Remember, you are as blank you could be. Balance, no bed. I've never met a bird that flies one wing. Be a bird that flies both wings. IT specialist, knowledge specialist, then you can fly. And black men fly. Your time has come.
Thank you, Rev, for that one. Absolutely amazing. And from Rev Den Mutaung, we've just had an incredible gentleman to also join us, ready to take over the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, for a keynote strategic address, we have right now Mr. Dita Kopisa. Am I correct? Yes, I'm correct. Joining us on stage. And he's a director of A Seat at the Table, ZA. Please give him a round of applause.
Hello, everybody. I am absolutely blessed to come right after Rev. I think I'm standing at such a blessed space. I'll only take 10 minutes, really. But before I start, I want to just grab 3 people randomly, and I'll do this. I'm terribly sorry. I'll grab you, my brother. Can you please come up? Please, if you don't mind. May I get you, madam? Please, if you don't mind. Just 3 people. I only have 10 minutes. Please come through. Just come in and stand here. Quickly, quickly, quickly. I only have 10 minutes, and I hope to remain within the time. Grab this. You can stand right there. Just grab that there. So I'm going to give them 3 balls, 3 tennis balls. What you'll do is, I think, a game that we all know. You can look right on the other side where everybody can see you. Sorry for putting you on the spot. The game is a game we all know. Well, not all of us. Many people will know. When I clap, you bounce the ball. When I don't clap, don't bounce the ball. If I don't clap and you bounce the ball, you're out. If I clap and you don't bounce the ball, you're out. So I'm just going to put the mic down, okay? Many of them have probably already been out. A round of applause for them, please. A number of them have already been out. Maybe I wasn't paying attention to that. But the whole concept of it is that some who are usually probably not so, not so good with bouncing the ball, it's not usually because they are not intelligent or that they don't understand the rules. It's usually because the rules are changing. The change is happening rapidly. And really a lot of what's happening is completely out of your control. And really your fate is placed on someone else's hand, in this case, myself. And that's what's going on in our world. A lot of things are really outside of our control. And we must give gratitude once again to EmpowaYouth for pushing our young people of Vaal as much as possible to gaining as much control as possible of what's going on. Take the initiative to learn as much as possible, and it's the reason for this. My topic really is about research meeting reality in our lives. And I'll do this by exploring 3 particular solutions in the maybe 6 minutes I have now. Particular solutions that came up in our townships and rural communities in South Africa as well as the rest of the African continent. One is a solution that came about through an insurtech business called Lumkani, meaning wisdom, or be wise. This is underwritten by Holland, and what they do is they looked at the informal settlements, particularly shack dwellers. We know very well that fires are one of the biggest problems that they face. And unfortunately, if you live in the suburb or an urban area, whatever happens at the next door neighbor is not your problem. So if anything happens and it burns next door, chances are if everything is under control, the fire will not come to your side. But if you live in shacks, you're out, baba. It matters to you that that fire goes off. Otherwise, livelihoods and lives may be lost. And so Lumkani came with a product. This product was really about heat detection and rapid response. They use artificial intelligence tools to report immediately, and what they've done is they've saved lives and livelihoods for many, many households. Another simple concept that I learned about recently was with a product called Pele Box. Pele Box. Pele Box looked at society and it saw a problem. It's happening in Gauteng, all across Gauteng townships, particularly Mamelodi. What they do is they see chronic patients, particularly the elderly. They spend a lot of time in clinics or any public institution to get their medication. And what they've realized is that the more they spend time, the more they develop some other conditions that they didn't have when they got there. And what they've done is they've developed a product. What this product does is it uses Internet of Things. They do boxes, drop boxes, normal lockers next to each of these clinics. The practitioners go on and drop the medication for any of these patients, just drop it there. And once it's dropped there, it automatically, using IoT, it automatically notifies the people that your medication is ready. And what that has done is it has cut down the collection time from 3 hours for some people to only 5 minutes. You get in and really solve this. The last product I'm going to talk about in our communities is a product in Ghana. No, it's not a product in Ghana, actually, it's in Diepsloot. Diepsloot, what they've done is they came up with a product called, or a solution called Skubu. Some of us may have seen about this online. They use technology and artificial intelligence to really run that business. What it's about is they noted 2 problems in society: food security as well as pollution, particularly with plastic. And what they've done is they've said, how can we use technology and artificial intelligence to get into this market and solve the problem? They say, if you have 19 rands and maize meal is 20 rands, don't worry, we've got you. Because you can come in for 10 rands and weigh only what you want with your own container. And what that really is about is it's solving a problem of food security, but at the same time ensuring that people reuse and recycle as much as possible. These are not the grandest of ideas. These are not life-changing ideas, but they're solving real problems in communities. And maybe as you sit there, you may be identifying some flaws in these business models. You may be sitting there thinking, but what if this goes wrong? And that's exactly the kind of critical thinking young people of today continuously need to have. If anybody were to ask me how young people can get into the artificial intelligence and tech space without necessarily being coders and developers themselves, I would pull up a 2-part family tree, or not a family tree, a decision tree. The first question I'd ask is, are there solutions to the main problems that you deal with on a daily basis? If the answer is no, voila, that's probably where you are going to operate. And if the answer is yes, there are solutions to the problems I deal with at Vaal on a daily basis, then where do those solutions end? Where is the tail end of those solutions? Where are the limitations to these solutions? Where do you see that if people are required to go pick up something in a locker, someone can steal it? Or, well, if I don't have a phone, how can I be notified? Those are the kinds of brain sets that we are trying to get as young people to say, wherever the current solutions end, it's where young people start. And so I'm not citing any of these ideas particularly to say, let's go on and mock what was done already. But the whole idea is to encourage systems thinking. And systems thinking in a simple way is saying, what's the problem? What resources do I have? And what solution can I create out of this? And we've seen all across the globe, particularly here in South Africa, in communities, as well as in rural areas, we've gone in and realized just how people are using tech and artificial intelligence to solve real problems. I did say that not all of us are going to be coders. Not all of us are going to own AI tools. Not all of us are really going to be at the forefront that we think we're going to be. But those that consume, how do you consume in a way that uplifts you, that empowers you, so that you're able to make a living for yourself, to make a living for your community, and most probably solve many of the challenges that we're facing. Mine today was really that, to talk about real life solutions that have been created within our communities, things we can see. And really out of all of that, to encourage us as young people to say, everywhere where the solutions lack, it is us who are going to get up and solve those problems. I may have not been a technical speaker to go into the details of what it is you can do to code, but I best believe the reason why EmpowaYouth is here is because you can learn different things all across the day and the rest of the week. And so you're going to learn a lot of skills, get a lot of resources from here that you'll be able to put two and two together. That if Dida couldn't come here and solve any of your particular problem, the next person is going to be able to do that. It's here to really encourage critical thinking. It's here to encourage creative work. The reason why we go to technical learning is not purely for the technical itself. We need to learn adaptability. We need to learn that flexibility. We need to be able to pivot and move around. And those are things that are beyond the technical itself. You can get your bachelor's degree, your certificate, and all of that stuff, which is wonderful. We actually encourage people to go on and get those. But without the power skills, and those are in the communication, those are in the flexibility, those are in the ability to say, well, it didn't work out well, I'm going to get up and do it once again. Thank you very much, all of you at Vaal. Let's look at the problems that we have and go about solving them. I appreciate you all. Thanks.
We didn't eat my time, right on time. Thank you so much. We had some exhibition taking place yesterday. That's what we are heading over into right now. So the team says that I must also let you know that things have changed in day 2. Yesterday, track 2, I believe, was that side. Do note that track 2 is now all the way that side. This is track 1, and then I just need to establish track 3, where we can find track 3 from Nebo, who will be joining me right now.
So just to explain again, yesterday you remember we had track 2 this side. It is now coming back this side. So as we read out, do note that track 2 is this tent and track 3 is the other side. So track 1, this is the topic we're going to be looking at. Marketing and communications leader, leveraging AI for brand growth and engagement. I repeat, marketing and communications leader. That's what we're talking about, marketers here. Leveraging AI specifically for brand growth and engagement. That is for our track 1. Track 1 remains here. So we remain here. You remain seated. You do not move. Track 2, I repeat, it's the tent this side. It's the tent this side and not the exhibition tent. Track 2, building digital businesses with AI, blockchain, and innovation. Once again, track 2, the tent this side. The topic is building digital businesses, you heard, with AI, blockchain, and innovation. Now track 3, again for clarity, it's this side on the exhibition side. Code your future, empowering young women in tech and AI. Code your future, empowering young women in tech and AI. Going back, track 1, marketing and communications, leader, leveraging AI, brand growth and engagement, you remain here. Track 2, building digital businesses with AI, blockchain and innovation, it's this side. And track 3, code your future, empowering young women in tech and AI, it's this side. I'm going to start right now. Track 2. Can I see your hands? Track 2. We are going this side. Can I ask everybody for track 2 to stand up and go to the doors on your back or to your right or your left? Track 2. Building digital businesses with AI, blockchain, and innovation. this side. Again, that is track 2 you are going to. Building digital businesses with AI, blockchain, and innovation.